Hello, everybody. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of September 5th. Okay, we all know what's happening. We all know that the full moon eclipse in Pisces, lunar eclipse in Pisces, is happening on Sunday, the 7th. And we all, maybe, I know I am, are feeling the Piscean energy of this, the emotions of this. What I will say is, as tumultuous, transforming as this time promises to be, there's these incredibly beautiful moments opening up, these incredibly beautiful moments of connection, of heart-based connection. And personally, it's been a very tender week, but also just the gratitude I feel for the people in my life, not just now, but all through my life. We're doing Maiden and Mystic Rising. I think one of the most important things to remember about Maiden energy, because we kind of put it on a timeline like Maiden, Mother, Crone, there's this implied sense of, well, you go through one phase and then you enter the other and then you enter the next. But it's not like that. Feminine energy isn't like that. It's not happening on a linear timeline. We're circling through all of these energies and we're alchemizing these three core archetypes over and over again in our bodies and our systems. And the Maiden energy, you never don't need it. Like, I don't care how old you are, I don't care where you are in your life. Maiden energy is the awe of the world. It is play, it's excitement, it's having a good time, it's being turned on and lit up by the life you live, by the world you live in, by connections to other people. And don't lose that. So even if you're not in Mystic Rising with us, I hope you spend some energy. Maybe you go back, and we did a beautiful timeline exercise, and just track, where is the Maiden energy most alive for you? And what did it mean to you? Like, what did those moments, those connections mean to you? My friendships just lit up when I did it. And I've always been grateful for my friendships. But just thinking back over time at the women and men who have just been so special to me, and how miraculous it is to find someone in this lifetime and to connect with them. And the way that with a friend and with a lover, but particularly with a friend, I was feeling it like, you just have these moments of connection that no one else really can ever understand. And I mean, what is better than sharing a moment with a friend? It's just like your whole heart is just grateful to be here. So I hope that some point in this wild ride of eclipse season in September, you reconnect to your friendships, you reconnect to your Maiden energy. Nature's another one. Friendships, play, art, romance, flirtation, all of that energy comes up and it feels good. So just notice any ways you might not be allowing yourself to be in Maiden energy because it's too young or too naive or too hopeful or too silly. And why are you not allowed that? Like, why are you not allowed to be in that vibe and that energy? The Sabian symbol for this full moon is really interesting. It's something like a sergeant training his troops in a practice mission. And the energy that came through when I was sitting with that was this idea that your higher self, your heart open self, your future self, your most aligned self is actually actively training this 3D version of you right now. And so as we move through this eclipse season, take the hits as they come, take the challenges, take the joys, take the experiences as training, trying to bridge the gap, trying to bridge the distance between the way you want to be, the life you want to live, the you know you are, and the old forms and structures and habits that are keeping you from that. I just had a really nice morning, so I'm like very happy. But there is something about this idea of letting yourself feel happy to be alive, as simple as that. I put it on Instagram, but that brilliant paragraph or prose, it just says, like, it's all temporary, especially the good things, but all of it's temporary. How much can you stay with yourself as you navigate the temporary, shifting sands and tides of life? So I go to pull a card for us, and two cards come out. And they are the King of Wands and the Two of Swords. And I'm just like, oops, like right away. I'm like, oh no. I don't know why. I haven't even really worked with the energy yet, but that was like my first reaction. And then I flipped over the deck and the Lovers was on the bottom. The Lovers and the Two of Swords very much sing the same song. The Two of Swords can be the minor arcana, one of the minor arcana reflections of the Lovers. All of the twos are, but the Two of Swords and the Two of Cups are in particular. And the Two of Swords is the horns of a dilemma. And the Two of Swords is the way that we overwork ourselves into having to make a decision. hear me on this. Like, you seduce yourself with the idea that there's a choice to make. And when we're uncomfortable, we will, I think is the word perseverate, like we'll hyper focus on what we need to do about it. And we'll do that for the task at hand. We'll do that with some other task. We'll be uncomfortable in some dimension of our life. We'll be strung out or vulnerable or worn down. And instead of sitting with the tender things that are underneath that, like feeling alone or feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling misunderstood or feeling unseen, or any of those tender, real sensations. And instead of sitting with them, we'll be like, well, if I just move differently or I make a different choice, then I won't have to deal with the tenderness that is. And it's the Two of Swords is always an invitation to come back to the tenderness and just note, like, where am I? And so they want to think about this Two of Swords. She has these Two of Swords, and no one could hold swords like that for an extended period of time. That is a highly uncomfortable position to be in. The other major arcana that this card vibrates to is the High Priestess, but there's none of the ease of the High Priestess. There's this kind of self-flagellation happening in the way she's holding these swords, this forced posture that doesn't feel good, and this almost freeze in the system. And so this week ahead, I want you to really, really notice what's in front of you as a choice. And if you feel any of that mental exertion around it, any of that anxiety, any of that overwhelm, dial it back to the smaller choice. So you are stressed about this thing, or you don't know what to do about this thing, or go left and right here, stay or go here. Take a deep breath and dial it back. Okay, I don't have a decision about stay or go. I don't have a decision about yes or no. What do I have a decision about? Okay, and you can dial it back till it gets really granular. Did I get enough sleep last night? Have I had a drink of water today? Have I been good to myself? Have I moved my body today? Like, you can get so granular about it. I need to go pay those bills. I need to go take the dog for a walk. I need to go straighten out my closet or put my laundry away. Whatever the thing is, dial it back until you get to a decision that is so clear. That is a clear yes and a clear no. When you get dysregulated or you get overwhelmed or your nervous system gets flooded, many of us have survival habits around, if I do something, this will get better. If I do something, I will be able to get out of this feeling. I will be able to escape this discomfort in my body. This month is not about doing. This month is about being. Life is about being. Like, that's a newsflash. But life is about being. So much of what we need to resolve gets more easily resolved when we're in our being, when we're in our fullness, when we're in our groundedness, when we're in our resourceness, best version of ourselves. So the Two of Swords and the Lovers alone would just say to me that we have a choice to make this week and that we're gathering information around that choice. There's a way in which we're in a, what would you call that? Like a stasis. We're just in this suspension for a moment. And part of what the eclipse season is revealing, right? We talked about this, like, you're moving down the river really fast. The idea that you need to take the boat off the river halfway through or grab the stick to slow yourself down, let yourself complete the course. Let yourself complete the course. You hold the pose of indecision. I know that's a funny thing to say because obviously you're making choices constantly. The brain is programmed to continue to choose and separate and remove and add. We're always making choices. But there's a way in which the invitation of the Two of Swords and the Lovers is, yes, there's a choice to make. It's also saying to you, don't let your mind push you into a yes or no that your body's not aligned with. So make sure whatever yes or no you're making, whatever movement you're making, it's coming from a full-bodied place. It's a full-bodied no. It's a full-bodied yes. If it's an I don't know, if it's a maybe, if it's a I'm not sure, let it be that. That's the holding the pose. So Two of the Swords also tells you to trust what your intuition's saying about where you need to be. Don't let other people pressure you in decisions. Don't let the sense of timing or the sense of you're going to lose it. Don't let that get in your way this week, because in an eclipse season, we can't get too attached. Like, we don't know what's here to stay. We don't know what needs to be eclipsed out of our lives. So we want to just be present with ourselves and hold the pose. And we're going to know when to make a choice. We're going to know what we're a yes to. We're going to know what we're a no to. We're going to know what we need to wait on. That's just very present here. The choices you make in this week ahead are going to matter. They just are. With the Lovers here, it matters. There's some again, some fork in the road that matters, and you are approaching that. And so the question is, when do you decide? Like, when do you decide? And don't let anyone or anything convince you to move before you're ready to move. Okay, I say that too because the King of Wands is here. The King of Wands, the king who would be a man, isn't really sure of how to resolve his passion, his desire, his excitement with his responsibilities. And there's this constant tension when the King of Wands is around. The King of Wands is a good time. He feels good. He's seductive. He's hot. He's energetic. He can, in the form of another person, in the form of an energy, completely overwhelm your system. So his energy comes in like a comet, and it can feel really good and be really exciting, but it is not the only energy in the room, I guess I would say it that way. Enjoy all the good generosity and warmth and excitement and playfulness there, but also feel the part of you that needs your feet on the ground at the same time. The King of Wands can come in as another being. I have a strong feeling this is outside of you, but it can be another being, or the King of Wands can be an aspect of you. And the way this would, if it's an aspect of you, is that you could be feeling this push to expand, to become more, to have more fun, to have more joy, to live, have life feel a little bit juicier, a little bit more exciting. And you could be unsure how to make that happen. And so there could be this tension between, again, what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, and what you really want. And we just want to remind ourselves that our desires don't come from nowhere. They're birthed in our soul's desire for expansion. And so how do you hold all of this at the same time? Like, how do you hold this idea that you're coming to a crossroads, that you should not be forced to make a decision before you're ready, that something about you is used to almost punishing yourself with your thoughts? It's cutting yourself off from your heart, not allowing your mental body and your emotional body to have a clear channel, a clear dialogue with each other, not allowing yourself to move only when they're in resonance, only when they're connected. And the King of Wands throws some spice into the party of someone else's energy being really exciting, or your own energy kind of bucking at the seams. So balance would be the word for the week ahead, just balancing how to stand at a threshold and watching the landscape change, and knowing that when your moment comes to choose or to move or to decide, you're going to know. And the choices that you're going to know in this eclipse season should be so clear. Should be so clear. And again, if the choice can't be crystal clear, if you can't be a full-on clear yes or no to that choice, dial it back until you find the place where you are a clear yes or no. Make that choice. When you make that choice, whole new possibilities open up, and you're going to find yourself at the next threshold of a clear yes, a clear no. But we want to be really precious with our choices this week, and we want to take our time with them. And we want to have this sense of, I need my heart and my mind to be aligned. Remember the shamanic thing I talked about? Right action, right love, right sight. We want that all to be unified. We want that to be on the same page. And we want to make sure we're on the same page before we invite in other people's energies or ideas. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Okay, listen, I'm so curious. But the energy that came through was definitely a choice to be made, and a way in which maybe part of what we're learning during this eclipse season is that our choices don't have to be made, not half-assed, but like half there, half present. You're allowed to make choices where you feel fully aligned. Heart's on fire, mind's clear, body's a yes. That's the kind of choice we're looking for. Everything else, take your time. Let the river run. Let yourself glide along. And know that when the choice is a ripe and ready choice, you are not going to be confused. You're not going to be mistaken. Okay, sending you so much love. Can't wait to hear how the eclipse goes. Happy full moon. And just a shout out to what a beautiful thing it is to be in relationship as a human, and noticing the precious moments in your life, the precious relationships in your life, and how much fun people can bring you. Because I feel like we're really down on people right now, and that's fair. There's some crazy stuff happening, but there's equally beautiful things happening. And I hope you let your heart really feel the beauty. What does it mean when you pour that into the groundwater instead of pouring the fear and the resentment and the isolation into the groundwater? what might change in this beautiful time of change. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.